Oh, hello there. Didn't see you.
Hey YouTube, welcome back. It's been a while, but if you remember, I'm Jordan, apropos Blankenship, and I'm sitting here with Trevor Smith. Trevor, can you tell the people of YouTube what you've done today or recently?
Recently, yeah, it wasn't today, unfortunately. But yeah, so I finished up this weekend. I took 6th place in Swiss at the Midwest Edison Classic or Clash, and then I ended up taking 6th overall as well, I suppose. It was a top 8 finish, so yeah.
All right, cool. So what deck did you play?
We played Hero Frog, if you know anything about me, you know that I like to play Hero Frog. I've been playing this deck a lot over the last kind of year and a half or so. When I do come play Yu-Gi-Oh, but let's see the goods and I'll show you the deck. Okay.
Okay.
Now I know lately one of the big things is people have been on the dupless build. I am not. I'm on a little bit more standard like Hero Frog with just some stuff that I like. So starting off right, we've got the triple Substoad. Everyone knows that Substoad is a good boy and you always play 3 of him. And we have 3 swap frogs. Sometimes people play 2. I don't think that's correct. We have 2 treeborn frogs. Some people play 1 on occasion, but I think 2 is still the correct ratio, especially in my build. And then we've got 2 dupe frogs. This is the guy that is like I said, the flavor of the month. People don't like playing him. It's very good. It helps you win a lot of games. The dupe block is still strong. So that is the frog package. Then we have the monarchs. We've got 3 Caius.
And are those ulties?
They are, in fact, ultimate rares.
Did you buy those?
I did buy them. These are the Rises. So this is the other thing, right? Triple Risa. Most people are playing, maybe 2 or even 1 Risa. I had mentioned it in the video with Asian with Cards, but you just like games where you see the Monarch train, right? There's a lot of games where you say, if I top deck a Monarch, I'll win the game. And you don't really care which one. Caius and Ryza do functionally the same thing. They out a card and they provide a huge body. So they're both really good. The other thing is I'm playing the Wing Blast build, and Ryza gets a lot better in the Wing Blast build because you can set people back like 2 or 3 draws. And if they're not getting a new card for 2 to 3 turns, you're probably able to out-tempo them in that game. That's the Monarchs, and this is the other Monarch. His name is Junk Synchron. I know he's a level 3, and he doesn't have Monarch stats, but he's the best Monarch in the deck. He lets you do anything. He can create a big, huge junk and kill people. He can out problematic boards. He makes black rose. He kind of can do anything. So we've been on 2 junk lately, and it's been very, very good. And then the hero package, right? So we have Stratos, Ocean, and then 2 Mali. I know lately people have been on the Frazier 5. I've been on the Elemental Hero Malicious 4, where we just play a pretty tight hero package. You play this one because it's a water, and then Stratos is good, and Malicious is also good. I think all day I only drew a double Mali hand twice. One of them was on stream with Marcus Hayden. I won that one. And then one of them was also on stream against Jeremy, I don't remember his last name, but in my round 8 match. And at that game, we were definitely just throwing cards on the board because we were waiting for top cut. So I guess I was 1-1 with double Mali hands yesterday, or this weekend.
So tell me a little bit more of the hero lineup. How did you always play the 4 heroes, or how did we get here?
Yeah, so these 4 were always in. These 4 were like never getting cut. Initially, when I think in my indie list, I was playing this plus an Alias and plus a Malicious Edge. I think the Alias doesn't really have a great place in the deck right now. So one of the big things with the Mali that you get over say like the Prodigy Mali build is that you get to play pretty explosively with your 1-for-1s. So getting that like pretty explosive start there that you don't have otherwise. And so I don't really feel like you need the Alias. There are definitely some matchups where he's nice. I just don't think I think there are better cards that you can play over the Alias. Now, the Malicious Edge, if you're only on 1 to 2 Ryza, I would definitely play it because it is nice. It's a searchable Monarch. It has a good stat line. It beats over Stardust. It beats over Ab-Zero. It can pierce through Rykos and just do a ton of damage, right? It's not a bad card. I just didn't think it was as impactful as some of the other cards, so that's why he got cut. And I haven't really missed it. I very rarely will end up with like super dead miracles, so... next up is the hand traps. We have Battle Fader and Gores. Gores is obvious include. People have kind of been off the Fader lately because deck dev has been pretty popular. I don't know. I think Battle Fader is still very good, right? There are definitely opportunities where it lets you not have to commit to the board where you'd like to hold your hand, and people can kind of consider making game shots and then just whiff, and then you can punish them on the crackback. So it didn't get DDB'd yesterday. I sided out in DDB matchups, obviously. There's no question there. But game ones, I think it's still very good. I think that's the end of the monsters. Then we have the spell package, right? So these guys search your boys. It searches Junk Warrior and your heroes, searches your heroes. Right, we've talked about this, like the 1-for-1. So like 1-for-1 E-Call Mally is insane. And then Brain Con is Brain Con. You always play it, helps you win games, does all those good things. Spell Trap Removal, MST Heavy, you still play them. And then the Triple Miracles. So pretty standard. I think the only changes people will sometimes make is sometimes they're on the enemy controller. Enemy control is always a card I put in my deck, and then throughout my testing I take out of my deck, and I always want it in, but I can't seem to find where it should be. So that's why it always gets cut, and I know it's good, and like it is in theory, right, just second brain, but I don't know, I find myself struggling to find space for it. So next is the traps, and this is kind of what I talked about. We're on the relatively robust trap lineup, so we have 3 Raigeki Break, 2 Wing Blast, the 1 Dust Shoot, and the 1 Mirror Force. 3 Rai Break is pretty standard. Everybody plays that. Generally, people are not on the Wing Blasts. The Wing Blasts get better with the Rises, like I'd mentioned.
And the Malicious, right?
Correct, right. So that's the thing. And that's why I also mentioned, right, you're pretty much always playing the 2 trees because you have 4 really good discard outlets. Going turn 1 Stratos, Search Mally, set Raigeki Break is pretty strong because it gets your Malicious engine set up. And then, or Wing Blast, either one, obviously. And it's a back row, and 1800 on your Stratos is like a pretty solid body. So that's all very good. Dust Shoot is just a good card, and Mirror Force is a good card. One thing, you got to be careful with your Mirror Force because obviously this is the one card in your deck that can kind of pin your Treeborn. So you want to be careful that you're only setting it in places where you are okay with them attacking or not attacking. If they don't attack and this card's stuck, you have to plan for that and expect that you have a play next turn, regardless of if you have Treeborn or not. So, or if you're just gonna die, so that's fine too. That's the main deck. It's 40 cards. I think it's pretty good. Would I make changes in the future? I don't know. The main deck ran very smooth. I won a lot of game ones, or like game ones that I lost. It was just like I had non-games from like Vayu or something like that, where they opened this 8-card combo and killed me. So not a lot you can do about those. So then we've got, we'll do the extra. I don't think the extra is like...
Yeah, just run through the extra real fast.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy, right? You
show people the shiny cardboard.
You play 3 Ocean, or 3 Hero, Ab-Zero, whatever his name is, because he's really good and he's really big. I mentioned this before too, right? I play the 1 Chimera Tech. It didn't come up for me at all. I have played 1 tournament game where it did come up and it mattered that I didn't play it. So now he will probably be in there forever or until I decide that he won't come up again. You play this, you can make it. I didn't, but you can make it. I did make this. The Catastrophe does come up. That's a pretty easy junk line, just junk into a 5, and it does come up. I play the 2 Warriors. I don't know if there were any games I made a second one, but I definitely made the first one a lot of games and still had a second junk live in my deck. But also he's huge when you make him, right? You make him in, generally he's going to be at least a 23. In some cases, he's at least going to be a 33. In some cases, he's a 43. And then I did even make a 5,300 attack jump warrior. And he's just massive, right? And he keeps that buff, so it's kind of difficult to out. The other 5 is the android. I did not make an android. An android is the one that I think is the least makeable. 6s, there are time rules, so this card does come up. Brio, I did win a game making a Brio bouncing against Dragon Turbo, just like outing the rest of his board and killing him with it. Obviously you're just going to play Brio. Also, you're going to play Goyo. Those are the 6s. You play the Black Rose. You can make Black Rose, and it definitely helps you get back into games. There's a lot of times where you can Black Rose somebody and then follow that up with a Miracle and hit them for 25 direct, and then they have to figure out how to out an Ab-Zero. And then the 8s. Playing 1 Stardust and 1 Colossal. I did not make either Stardust or Colossal. You could make them, but I did not. So that's the extra. And then the side deck. So we have triple Vanity, 2 DD Crow, the 3rd Junk, the Breaker, Assailant. Here's our friend Alias. The 2 Noblemen, 1 Soul, 2 Karma, and then a Dust. Explanations. I don't think I have to explain the vanities, right? It's
No, you play vanities. It's 2 or 3. You're playing 3.
Yep, exactly. The Crow, it's because everyone's on DDV, right? Especially the value players. And they generally telegraph if they have it, right? The logic, right, is that you can out their DDV play. Also hitting a Plague is pretty insane. You're pretty much only going for like to protect yourself from a DDV or to out a Plague. But it's a good card. I don't know.
And Forgs.
Right. I wasn't expecting to hit a ton of Forgs today, but if you do find Forgs, you definitely want Crows in your deck. The Junk, like I mentioned, it's insane. I sided in against like really aggro decks because it just kind of crushes them, right? You just make a big body and start slamming damage early. It's really, really good. The Breaker, I think I mentioned in the other one, right? But this was I included it in my deck as I was driving to the tournament. I just wanted to test it out, and it did pretty well. It's 4 specific things. I think that's one thing people will always ask. There's I get that question a lot with Assailant. They're like what is people will often say I don't know why you're playing that, but it's good in this situation. And you're like, well, that's what it's for. It's for this situation. They're both very similar rules. They're for aggro decks. They're for outing bodies, right? So it's for Gladiator Beast type stuff. They out Siroko's, or this one doesn't, right? But outing Sirocco, outing Fossil Dyna. This one's great because it's kind of if you can normal summon a Fossil Dyna with a back row, you feel pretty safe against frogs. So if you normal Breaker, you pop the back row, you kill the Fossil Dyna, you're so far up in tempo. And then, like I said, they're just good for creating large bodies and attacking. I even side them in against Dragon Turbo just because you want to get damage in as quickly as you possibly can.
And Alias is not boat too, right?
Correct. Yeah. He's just worse. They're all 3 of these are kind of that same aggro style. So I guess the Alias did make the list, but only as a 1900 vanilla. And then the spell traps. The Exterm was pretty good. I feel like people have been off of the Mask lately, and not tons of Yada. If you're not playing Mask and you're not playing Yada, then Nobleman's insane, right? And plenty of matches I get to just out cards. Sometimes in Frogs, I feel like just an MST is insane. Just being able to play uninterrupted, you get to gain so much advantage. And it's kind of just a little fake MST. If you hit a pulling the rug and you rip 2 or 3 Brugs from their deck, you feel like you're unstoppable. So I don't know. I like it. It's not always correct. I felt like it was correct this past weekend, and it performed well, and I think it was correct this past weekend. Soul Exchange was pretty terrible. It comes in. It does. There are definitely times where you want to see it. I was on 2. I thought 2 was correct. It didn't seem correct. So now I'm down to 1. Well, this might go to 0. Who's to say? It's good in the Vanities mini game against Frogs. Beyond that, I don't love it. If you're playing against Volume, they're normally siding out of their slow cards anyways. So the whole set a Raikou or set a hamster where I can soul exchange for a Ryza or something just doesn't happen nearly as often because they're siding into their aggro. Karmika, it pretty much is exclusively coming in matchups where I want to not see Wing Blast. It's just better, right? So if I don't want to stack your Caius, or like I don't want to stack your JD, I would rather Karma Cut it. So that's pretty much what it's for. And then the Dust Tornado was kind of hedging my bets, to be honest. I think you could, realistically, a Frog side, you can probably get through like pretty much all your matchups with 10 cards. And then you can have 5 that are a little bit more specific and targeted. So the Dust Tornado was, if it seems like I'm playing someone that's not going to be on Mask or I'm playing stinky back row decks, then the Dust comes in. I don't even know if I sided it in. I might have sided it once, and I don't think I activated it. So that is the deck.
That's a pretty nice little Frog deck. How did you come up with such a list?
Yeah, my good friend Apropos. It was his initial, like the build was his list from, I don't know, some tournament he topped back a year or two ago. And we kind of had been workshopping it a lot. We've gone back and forth. I shout out to the Mally Frogging Heroes Discord with Fitz and Jinja, and I think Ma's in there. There's a handful of people in there, but just talking about like a lot of frog theory, especially with Malicious, because it's a little bit niche. Not tons of people are playing the Mally builds. Yeah, and then the Frog Pond, good old Frog Pond.
All right. Was there any card that you thought underperformed?
What was bad? I think the main deck was pretty good, and the side, like I'd mentioned, that the Soul Exchange was the worst card in my side. Other than that, I think it was all pretty good. I don't know. I think most of my losses were like things that were out of control, except for my punt in top 8. But that's okay. It happens to the best of us. Overall, yeah, the deck ran very smooth. I played my first 3 rounds. I played against 3 Blackwing players. They were all Blackwing games. One of them, I think I made a pretty large junk and beat somebody with it. And then I played a Lightsworn guy, and I got Lightsworn to death. That's how it goes sometimes. Then I played against Trap Dragons. That was one where I made a very large chunk and killed somebody through a card trooper, like with 5,300 or something like that. And then, what was round 6?
Dragon Turbo?
Yeah, that's right. It was Hydro Pump on Dragon Turbo. That one was a slog. That was another one where I sided in tons of aggro. And then round 7 was Marcus Hayden on stream. He was on Vayu. And then round 8 was Jeremy, I think it's Macwin or something, but he was on, that one was on stream as well. That was at table 1. So yeah, overall, it was a great time. It was a really well-run tournament. I was really happy with how it all went. Would have liked to have won more games in Top Cut, but my goal was coming in getting my 2nd top. So 1 top per year for me, and that's good enough.
Congratulations on your 2nd top. Any last shout-outs before we close it up?
Yeah, I mean, obviously shouting out the Lexington crew, shouting out the Ham crew, the Frog Pond, everybody that was cheering me on. It was a lot of fun going through the day, keeping up with everybody. The Cincy crew, they were cheering me on as well. Kip also had a great day. My wife for letting me go. We got back from vacation. I said, can I go to this tournament? And she said, I guess. So that was nice of her. Yeah, but no, it was a great time. I had a good time.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. Mally Hero Frogs, top 8 MWEC. Thanks to everybody running that tournament. It was awesome. And we will see y'all later.